Well, one of the key things with the channel, I think, growing it is don't overpromise. So I will look back more closely because apparently at one of the recent not real protests that Aaron had with his water wars was some guy was getting back and forth with the police. Again, let me be very clear. I'm not a fan of the Clearwater police. They are super evil and corrupt. Decade and decade after decade of just incredible corruption. So they're all kinds of evil. Still, for whatever reason, the guy decided to get homophobic and had a back and forth. But I'll do a more detailed thing on that. So here I want to concentrate on the other fake pseudo activist that Aaron has hired, Marisa Dianetics, whose recent activities were trying to censor Alonso and get rid of his blog, and apparently was a former friend of DOA, which is, this is the problem with Aaron's propaganda. It never really adds up. Let me go through the whole spiel because it's a little confusing. So now Dianetics is doubling down that Alonso and DOA are anti-gay. And this is just an insane coincidence. I'm going to do this for channel members. This is not reacting to her. So I want to thank her. She's providing additional evidence. This was actually a topic that I had channel members to vote on, saying, well, what do you want some future videos to be on? And they're like, oh, do it on DOA. So I was like, all right, well, you voted. The votes also for some other things like readings. I can read foreign languages. So I can do some readings in different languages, various classical and modern texts. So if you want to get involved with that, become a channel member. But in any case, that was one of the topics I focused on. Is DOA homophobic? If you want my expert opinion, become a channel member. We'll get into that. So I don't want to deal with necessarily is DOA anti-gay, not just to squeeze you guys for money, but it's like, well, why are we even asking this question? Especially with Alonso, like there's no evidence Alonso's homophobic. Why she's talking like this? And I get accused of like, oh, you don't really cite things correctly. You're always lying. Why are people paying attention to these two dirty, unkempt, obese, rotting teeth, jizz-filled, blanky having, what is a blanky having? I don't know. Homophobe, xenophobic waste of lives. I don't get it. Xenophobic, so now I guess Alonso's anti-Mexican. Like that's another thing with her that makes her a fake woke pseudo activist. She's like, I am por Mexicana Latina woman. Although I am not joking with you, I had a former encounter with this woman where me using the word Latino to her, even though she identifies as Latina. Oh, by the way, she thinks she's clever. Yeah, she's used the word herself. We'll put all that aside. Also, her Spanish is terrible. Right now, I was born in Central America, and again, even my Spanish needs to be worked on. It's a very beautiful language, but it's very tough. Her Spanish is terrible. It's terrible. It's very basic too. So I'm questioning how much she has a grasp on Spanish. So anyway, so she's not real Mexicana. Apparently, she's half Mexican. But now she's the race educator trader for all of us. So using the word Latino as a sign, I'm a racist. Okay, well, I've seen with myself like dark skinned Latino men use the word Latino. I guess those very dark skinned Latino men, they're racist too. Alrighty then. So apparently, and again, I'm not defending him, Scott did do this. He put out this anti gay post a couple years ago, right? Because he was more active with BLM, Antifa, January 6th convoy movement. Now you might think to yourself, wait, isn't like BLM more on the left? I think actually it's a reactionary movement. I don't think it's a left wing movement. I mean, they're hanging around with Louis Farrakhan. So anyway, DOA was mixed in with the Farrakhan, still fighting Scientology somehow, even though Farrakhan was pro Scientology because he's getting money. Anyway, it's all very confusing where he really stands. He's a whole big mess. But apparently he was very, very anti-gay. And Marisa, who is connected to Aaron Smith-Levin, they did a whole interview, which Aaron censored from his channel. Because the Dine Nutcase gave out a few too many secrets how closely she and Aaronis were working together with the SPTV Foundation, right? And I want to give Saul Goodman a big shout out. Apparently, he looked up the numbers. It's not registering as a real charity. Yeah, I wonder why. So anyway, Dine Nutcase is getting money from the Aaron Corporation to do propaganda. That sounds totally normal too, by the way. That's what real activists do. They get paid off by a homophobic, racist piece of garbage who's allied with neo-Nazis. Yeah, that's what Aaron is doing. Oh, by the way, she's defending that too. Yeah, so when Knife Warder got exposed as a neo-Nazi, Diane Nutcase defended him. So you're like, wait a minute, wait. I am so confused. I am beyond confused. I'm trying to keep this all one logical equation. It's impossible because she's not being logical. So wait, okay. DOA is homophobic. Allegedly, that's bad. Right. So does she think Knife Order is pro-gay? He's not. He made that very clear to me where he called me pro-trans or something, like a part of the pro-trans radical network. For the record, my stance has been like this for several years. I am all for various groups having minimal civil rights. I think that should be true of all groups. So gays should be able to marry, and trans want to marry. I guess they should be able to marry. I really don't care. I do study these things, and I'm for these groups. I do respect their history, but at the same time, I'm not really into the radical gay, radical trans stuff. But Knife Order out of nowhere said, "You're with the radical trans. I know who you are. You're radical local trans people." Okay, so I don't think he's pro-gay. I don't know. I don't see him. I don't see Knife Order playing with the rainbows all the time. So anyway, so the pro-Nazi Latina woman who thinks using the word Latino is racist is now calling Alonzo and DOA racist and homophobic. Right. Well, here's where it gets even more crazy. And this is true of Aaron. I want to be very careful here because that's DOA's dilemma because he's denouncing Aaron, which I agree with. Aaron is a really sick piece of garbage. However, Aaron and DOA were friends. So to give her some points for consistency, when Aaron was being homophobic, she didn't care. Right? But now we're saying DOA is homophobic too. Okay, she didn't care about that either. Remember, Dianetics and DOA hung out together. So, according to her own logic, she likes hanging out with racist, homophobic, xenophobic, anti-Mexicans, even though she identifies as Mexican. Well, why would you be around a racist homophobe? If he's a racist homophobe, why would you do that? Oh, that's what she does. She hangs around those people. Okay. Because this post is from a few years ago. So, according to you, we should all be aware he's very homophobic. He hates Hispanics. He's just a hater, guys. I think he's like a neo-Nazi guy. Oh, okay. So he's like Knife Order? But you're defending Knife Order. You think Knife Order's a hang up kind of guy. Like, why? Like, the big thing that Knife Order does is make fun of Tommy Scoville and torment him. You know who else does that? Me. Me. But no, I'm the racist Hispanic man. I'm also homophobic. I don't know. I don't know. Also, what's the evidence of Alonzo's homophobia? Right. So with DOA, at least he has a post. With Alonzo, he's drinking something. Right. No posts, no texts, no video, no audio evidence. Just he's homophobic because he's drinking from a bottle. Okay. And also, what exactly is the substance of her attack? That Alonzo and DOA are overweight and ugly. So apparently, if you're very attractive and thin, the homophobia goes away. So I guess because Knife Order is thin, he seems like a thin guy. Uh, his homophobia or his racism or Nazism is not really Nazism. So I guess the Nazism anti-gay thing only kicks in if you're fat. Even though, just cherry on top, Dianetcase praises Nora all the time. And Nora is very overweight. I'm not making fun of her. I'm just saying, for a fact, she's overweight. She's literally on the treadmill in videos trying to work off her fat. So, how exactly does this all come together? It doesn't. It does. This is not a serious person. Okay, just answer a question. Alonzo and DOA, good or bad, are supporting Jerry Armstrong, a very serious activist. And her going all the way through with the Aaron propaganda, maybe mention Jerry Armstrong and his very vital, very legit crusade against the church. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But Alonzo has had several good interviews with Jerry Armstrong. Maybe you want to talk about that? No, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to focus on the Aaron propaganda. Right, right. So apparently Aaron is putting out the homophobia. His protesters, quote unquote, his protesters are putting out homophobia. And Dianetcase is like, no, I love gays. There's no homophobia. I love Nora's. Guys, no, gay ally here. I'm a gay Latina ally. I'm not Latina. That's racism. So what, is she claiming to be a Native American? Is that what's next? Even though I think she has like a German sounding last name? she's, I don't know. She's a Deutschen, Latina, Native American warrior woman, and she calls people anti-gay and pro-Nazi. But the actual Nazis, they're okay. Right. I wish this was all a fake parrot. No, this is real. These are all her words. And by the way, she got mad at me because I kept fact checking her videos, pointing out these contradictions, and said these videos are going to go away now because she kept contradicting herself. That's me being Osa racist Latino man. Radio, radio, and the revolution moves onward into complete stupidity. And there we are. That's the commentary. That's Diana Nutcase in a nutshell. But I'm sure she's going to get more crazy in her posts. I'm sure. I'm sure she's going to go even more bat crazy with her not real logic, in my humble opinion.